All right, so who kicks off?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what. Okay. Well, we should really have a jingle.
I know. I think we do need a jingle or something at the start.
Yeah, I'm not going to use that.
No.
Or I might. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Hey guys, welcome to Game Train, where we're going to talk about our ideas, our opinions on a bunch of games. We're going to be here every fortnight, so come back and hang out with us. My name's Carl.
And I'm Callan.
There he is. There's the man. Let's do this thing. Episode 1. This is, if you're listening, very lucky. This is the first time we're all in this together. You gotta be in it for the whole thing now.
Well, they ain't getting off this train.
No way.
Oh, man. All right.
What a time to start. It's kind of like we're drowning in the middle of an ocean of games. We kind of should have started at the start of the year, but no one saw it coming.
What a ridiculous year, like, so far. Like, you normally expect November to be, like, the peak time of the year, which it normally is every year, regardless.
Yeah, and probably still will be.
And it still will be. But this year, the gates just opened early, and we've just been flooded with games. Like, it's just... And not just any games, like, top quality games. Like titles that you'd expect to come out at the end of the year during that Christmas rush, and they'd all be suited to go in that time, and they'd probably all stand on their own, but they've all just come out early. Like, it's just been ridiculous. Like, pretty much Resident Evil 7 kicked it off.
Yeah, right? And don't play it on VR. That's all I'm saying.
Well, look, I went through with a friend, and we finished it in one night, and it was awesome. Like, I haven't finished a Resident Evil game since 5. So, skipped on 6.
Well, you did 5. Well done.
Cheers. I love that. That was fun. But this was just something else. I just loved what they did with it. Going first person just gave it a whole different perspective, literally.
Yeah, right. And it still felt like Resident Evil, which no one saw coming.
Exactly. I thought, how is this going to transition across? But, like, it was scary. Like, it was freaky. It was scary. And, yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. But then, like, also then after that, we had, like, Neo come out as well, which is that Bloodborne Dark Souls style game.
Right, and no one saw that coming and expected that to be any good either.
Exactly, like some of the shops weren't even really stocking it, like maybe 1 or 2 copies, and that was it. And then that one has just been smashing it in the ratings. Now, I can't give my own opinion on it because I haven't had a chance to get around to it yet because I've been playing everything else at the moment. But it's one that I am going to come back to, and we will talk about it down the line when I get the chance to. But then the year keeps going from that. Like, Resident Evil, Neo. Then there's also Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which I'm going to go through once the remixes of 1.5 and 2.5 come out at the end of this month.
Yeah, right.
So I've got that waiting for me as well, which is...
Oh, man.
There is so much there as well. Like, it's just stupid.
Yes.
Then For Honor came out as well. The PvP night game, the melee PvP game. I bought that, and that is awesome. I've sunk 20 hours into that just PvPing online, and it was fun. Like, that's another huge game in itself.
See, that's the first game for me this year, possibly Neo as well, but that one I actually wanted, and it's the first one that's suffering from all its peers, because the only reason I didn't buy that was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm saving myself for Horizon and the Switch and Mass Effect and
everything else that's coming out.
And it wasn't because I didn't look at it and go, I'm not into that. Like the contrary, I looked at it and went, damn, that looks really good, but I'm not going to get it because I just know there's better stuff I want to be playing that I'm really, really waiting for.
Well, look, I really enjoyed it. I felt it was fun, but I felt there wasn't enough to keep me sort of coming back over and over and over again. But yeah, that came out as well. So that's already Resident Evil, Neo, and For Honor. 3 massive releases, plus everything else that's come out this year, which is a massive list.
I've been smashing Gravity Rush 2, and I'm just in love with that. It's so fun. I didn't even play part 1. I didn't have the Vita, so didn't get to try it, but it looked cool. Then it came on this, and the remastered version came out, and I was like, I don't know. And someone told me, just jump into part 2. The story's not like this epic sprawling thing that takes too much to understand, and they kind of, stand on their own, but the gameplay is just worth trying. So I tried it, and it was very fresh, which is so cool to see. There's not a lot of like different ways to play games anymore, and that one is
nice.
So that's cool to do. But let's talk about these big things.
Yeah,
might run out of time.
Well, yeah. Well, let's get to what happened in the last week.
Oh God! All right.
And what a ridiculous week it was. So, in the 1 week, we had 2 massive open world games launch on different platforms and a new console launch.
Yeah, mental.
And both games have been getting ridiculous reviews as well. Like,
yeah.
As a fan of gaming, you look at that and you almost cry because you want to put so much time into one of these games and play it fully and experience everything in it. But then suddenly you've got 2 awesome games sitting there right in front of you and you're like, what do I play?
Oh, I felt like even though I had all these good games, that week leading up to Horizon, I just felt like, there's nothing else I want to play but Horizon or Zelda. So I was just playing nothing. I was walking around sort of, I played the Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildland beta just to do something. And it was like, no, I want it. And then they both come out at once. And now I'm just like, no, this is not what I wanted. You don't understand. I just want one thing.
Yeah.
I'm spending like a day on that one and a day on another. And I'm mixing up what jump is. And
oh, yeah, exactly. Like I've been doing it. I've been switching between both, like a few hours here and a few hours there.
Yeah.
In the same day, generally.
Yeah, same.
You keep up with both. Otherwise, you then start to sort of forget where you're up to or what you're doing in the game, sort of thing.
Or how to control it.
Yeah, or how to control it. But let's go back to the one that came out first, which was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
Which came out on here in Australia on March 1st.
Yep. Guerrilla Games came out of nowhere with this open world game that it's not even their jam.
Yeah. Looking at this game, Sony must have bankrolled them something fierce to put this out because it is massive. Like going back and looking at like the original Uncharted and games like that where it was a new IP kicking off from the ground up. And then the jump from like Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, you can see how much extra money Sony, put into like Naughty Dog to, produce these amazing games. Their budget just went up so much.
Yep.
And then to Part 3 and Part 4, which I still have to do those 2 soon.
We'll talk about that.
Anyway, Horizon Zero Dawn, a new IP, to come out with, like the game it is, would have been a huge budget and a big risk too, and it's amazing that they've gone and down that road rather than a smaller sort of game, and then maybe Part 2 being a lot bigger and a lot grander in scale. But they've just gone out like a bull out of the gate, bang, wow.
Yeah, these guys, they're they were always awesome, but now they're like this new game company to look out for, whatever they do. Like your BioWares and that kind of and your Bethesda and your Rockstar, now. Well, I don't know what they're going to make next. I have no idea, but I'm going to play it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were worried, like talk online, people were like, oh, Guerrilla Games, I don't know, what's this going to be like, could be anything.
Yeah.
It's
like Killzone,
Yeah, bit of a risk, yeah, Killzone, exactly, But then, as this came out, and, everyone's like, wow, they actually, pulled something nice out of the hat here,
Man.
Okay, we've had a lot of open world games over the last couple of years. Some of the big ones being like The Witcher 3, etc.
Yeah.
But sitting down playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I still got those wow feelings about it.
Oh, it's just looking at the thing, it is stunning. Stunning. Every turn, bawl my eyes out, stunning. This thing is gorgeous. It's ruined my comeback. You have friends that don't really play games, and those ones, they'll like a game like, say, I don't know, Wildlands or something similar, or let's say Just Cause 3 comes out and they'll come over while you're playing it and they're like, the graphics aren't that, awesome. And I used to always have to say as my comeback, you don't understand how games work, right? This is an open world, so the graphics are not going to look like Tomb Raider or, Mortal Kombat. They have so much here that they have to create, that you can't just render these incredible things in this, and then this comes out and now I'm like, well shit, I don't know, this looks better than any small tiny game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's an open world, so it's like they were right. They were like, oh, they could have done better. I'm like, no, they couldn't have. Apparently, they could have.
Well, it feels like, you know how every generation there's a couple of games that come out and just go bang, you know, in terms of graphics or gameplay or whatever, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right? I felt like, and it's normally around the cycle of the console. Normally there's one around maybe, or a couple around the start, around the middle, and then there's normally something that goes bang out, you know, that's it sort of thing, you know, at the end. Like, we look at last generation, and you'd say Red Dead's probably that middle game. You'd say Grand Theft Auto 5's probably the end game there.
Yeah, well done, Rockstar.
Yeah, well done. You'd probably say for this generation, The Witcher 3 was probably towards the start more.
Yeah. Oh.
Right? Of that, wow, this is next generation right here.
Yep.
Horizon Zero Dawn's probably that, wow, so this is where everything else now can get to this level. Like, this is just...
Yeah, this is the benchmark of what it looks like.
The benchmark of this generation, like... That's it. And then it's going to be interesting to see towards the end of the generation, well, even when like Red Dead 2 comes out, what that's going to be like.
Oh man. Yeah.
But and that's, you know, if that comes out this year, it still won't be the end of this generation. Like, this will still be in the mid sort of
exactly.
tier.
And then like the Xbox Scorpio and whatever, what's that going to bring, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole other thing as well. Like, well, I'm playing Horizon on a PlayStation Pro, but I don't have a 4K TV. So I feel like I'm slightly missing out on something.
I have the 4K TV, but I don't have the PlayStation Pro.
Yeah, and I've had that same conversation with several people. They have like a 4K TV and they don't have the Pro. They got the Pro and they don't have the 4K TV.
So none of us can really say how gorgeous this is. And already it's the best looking game I've ever seen, period. So
wow.
Oh
wow! So you would put it like above something like Uncharted 4, which I know you've gushed over before. Wow!
Oh, Uncharted 4 blew my mind. This looks to me like Uncharted 4. Like, you know, there are still moments in Uncharted 4 that are just like, I can't wait for you to play it, because even if it was a batshit boring game, which some people have said it is, or like just this, it's still just the most adventurous, visually stunning like movie experience. And this game I think looks so similar. I think the only thing that makes Uncharted 4 prettier is a lot of the scenes are like set pieces and controlled camera angles.
Yep.
You know, like visually I think it's really similar, but they choose where the reflections go and they choose where the debris falls towards the camera, and I think it's just because of those angles in some bits that you're just like, wow. But yeah, no, I think by mistake and seeing these, you know, you see like a bird flying over you and you're trying to hit it with a arrow, and then there's a sunset and the clouds and everything's red and it reflects off the mountains, and that's not on purpose or a set piece. That happens so often in this game that I'm definitely throwing down I think this is the prettiest game I've ever seen. PC, console, everything together. Come at me.
Wow. It's pretty big call.
Without mods, you know, like out of the box.
Yeah. Because Skyrim mods look pretty freaking special on PC.
Yes. Yep. Even the GTA 5 mods, some of those are like, if it runs, like the screenshots are pretty.
Yeah.
But
even games like Battlefront, like I remember when I boot up Battlefront on the PC for the first time, and I was like, wow, this is like a Star Wars movie. This is ridiculous.
Oh no, it made the movies look like last gen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah, like, you know, going with the whole new IP thing, and then characters, you know, we're going with, you know, we've got these brand new characters that we've never seen before.
Oh,
and
exactly.
I think they did a great thing with it in a way that they kicked off the story of you as, you know, as a baby, so you sort of see your origins, then as a child.
Yeah.
But you sort of, through the tutorial and the start of the game, you kind of grow up with Aloy at the start.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know a lot about her past either, so you're sort of learning about it at the same time as you play through the game.
Yeah, which is really cool, and it's sort of, I mean, it's similar, but it's a more fresh take than the random amnesia of your main character to make you
like the Witcher 1 sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. And man, speaking of its prettiness, that if I spend one more minute on that photo mode, I'm going to have to just quit forever. I don't know. I've spent more time standing still in that game than I have moving.
I can't believe that. I find it hilarious. Like, well, I've just been sitting there playing, and then I'll talk to you, and you're like, I'm just taking more photos.
Hundreds.
And then I jumped into the photo mode for 10 minutes and did like a little cheeky selfie photo of like love hearts and shit. Was like, yep, that's mine. All right,
I've done it. I've seen what it's all about. Yeah, I saw the hearts, and I'm like, oh, this is blasphemous.
Because I'm like, I'm going to make the worst photo I can to send back to you. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks
for any listeners out there, we'll put a couple of the shots up on our Facebook page.
As well as the love heart selfie.
As well as the love heart selfie. That's right. That's right. But yeah, like, just the game itself is just fun to play too. Like, you play an open world game, and there's generally sort of a feel to it. You do to start, you learn about the controls, get thrown out into the world, you do some missions, you do some side quests, you do some missions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that in this, of course, because that's how the game's designed. Yeah. But it's fun. Like, I'm enjoying the different activities that you've got to do. Like,
I just love combat. It's just so solid.
The combat is fun. Like, it's you got so many different ways of, taking down your opponents. You can shoot arrows, you can throw little bombs, you can set up an array of tripwires around them.
Yes.
And then every different beast you fight, like all the different types of machines, feel so different in the way that you fight them.
Yeah, you don't just throw arrows at every single one or like beat them all up because you have a strong stick and that's the end. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to rethink every fight, and it makes it feel more like you're more in the moment.
Yeah, like, I've had my ass kicked several times when I've come across new types of machines.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, cool, what does this guy do? And then, from a distance, I'm like, oh, it looks like just one of those, ones that I killed before. No, it's not. It's completely different with a whole new array of skills, and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And what I liked, which I didn't expect at all, it was kind of annoying, but it was brave and it was clever about this game, is that it was the earliest review embargo I've seen in years and years.
I didn't like that at all.
Well, see, I don't know. I thought, what needed that? The game that needed something like that was a game like Titanfall 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, like, in this game, I'm kind of glad they did it because I guess I feel like they knew that the Switch was coming out, Zelda was coming out, open world, like, beautiful, and everybody knows Zelda. Like, you know what that is, you know what to expect, you're going to have a good time. But no one knew this, plus people were skeptical, so I found it so brave that they went out so early and went, look, this is how good, not just like 2 days before, it's like early enough for people to go out, like, oh, okay. And I feel so sad. I don't know, did you play Titanfall 2?
No.
Oh man, see, I mean, it could be why, but like it came out between, Call of Duty and Battlefield 1, these two like epic first person shooters, but it was so good. It was like fast, fun, awesome gameplay, but it's just kind of got buried under everything.
Do you feel that then comes back down to the publisher, like they've made a mistake releasing that game at that time, whereas maybe they should have held back until, I'm going to say it, the start of this year?
Yes.
Less competition, more exposure.
Yeah, less kind of first-person shooter with that. It was right sandwiched in the middle, and the weird one was Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 were both EA anyway. So it's like, didn't you want this to be successful?
Well, that's weird because they should have known everyone was going to flock to like Battlefield 1.
Yes, of course. Which, I mean, they win anyway.
Yeah, but, people have been screaming out for like another World War One sort of shooter for a while. And, they're getting sick of the futuristic style warfare where COD had gone down and, we had Battlefront the year before and all that. Yeah. And then, here comes Battlefield 1, everyone gets hype.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, yeah, we'll release Titanfall 2 at the same time, which is futuristic shooter, which everyone's kind of now getting sick of.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. If they had, like, this brave, insanely weird whole, like, 9 or 10 day embargo for the review for it, maybe it would have been different. Maybe people would have went, okay, wow, guys, before you ignore this, this is a really, really fun game. But anyway, that's
I didn't like it because I kind of like the maybe the day before or 2 days before release on the embargo.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can go, all right, okay, cool. Rather than going onto like a site like an IGN or a Kotaku and then just getting flooded with articles.
Yeah, see, the trick is you don't read them.
I don't, but just scrolling through like the day's news and just going, okay, so here's some tips on how to play Horizon, or Horizon's one of the prettiest games ever, and here's some gorgeous screenshots of it.
Yeah,
or
of course, and you can't avoid that stuff.
You're still seeing these images and things from the game. It's like, I just want to play this game. Like, I was kind of happy that, with the other game we're going to mostly talk about today, Zelda. That was like the day before embargo off, but yeah, we'll get to that one soon. We'll talk about the reviews on that. But yeah, I didn't like the early embargo. I disliked the late embargo as well, when you've already gotten back home from the store and you're playing the game and then the reviews are coming out.
Yes. Yeah, that sucks too.
Yeah, that sucks too.
It's a tricky place. I mean, the whole industry and the whole reviewing concept is just completely alien to me. But as an onlooker, it's just such a fine line. Where is cool?
Yep. Yeah. Well, I feel for the reviewers in the instances where they actually can't even play the game because, let's say, it's online only before it comes out, right? Like a World of Warcraft expansion or something like that. They can't review that game until they start with every other person. So they've got to sit there and pretty much just go around the clock and then get that review out as quick as they can.
Yeah, and then there's like 1,000 different companies trying to get their review out.
Yep.
And it's more about
imagine that with like Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, imagine none of the reviewers got their copy until release day, and they had to burn through it in 30 to 48 hours. They've got 2 days to get through the entire game, and then write a review and then get it online. Like, that's not fun for anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like in terms of my own opinions of Horizon, like, I'm about probably 15, 16 hours into it now. Like, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm interested in seeing where it goes, sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, same. I'm pulled into the story. It's not like mind-bogglingly different or new or anything, but it's interesting, and I like her. I like Aloy. I want to know where she came from. I'm very keen to see her grow and become something cool. And
yeah, exactly. And the way that they've like sort of presented like her people and where they've been, that she's been very sheltered from everything as well. And she goes out into the world and she's learning about the world at the same time.
Yeah.
She's seeing new machines, and you're like also seeing new machines.
Yeah, it's great. You are her. They've done it really well.
Yeah, they've it's a great way they've sort of done it. Like, rather than like like The Witcher 1 or any of the Witchers, really, where you're sort of making your own sort of story, which is really cool at the same time. It really feels like Geralt in like I haven't played the first one, but I've watched the whole story online. It's gone through and watched it all. The way it was done, it didn't really. I don't know. It just it felt like there was already. I'm using this as an example, but there's already that character there. That's him. While Aloy's growing the entire time.
Yeah.
Pretty much you see her as a child. She's training, and then she's grown up, and she's still training. She hasn't moved on from that sort of stage in her life. Still, she's still. Her goal was to train to win the proving sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you get to that stage, and then it's like.
And then the world opens up. Yeah.
And then the world opens up. It's like, oh wow, now what?
Yep.
And then you go out from there, sort of thing. But yeah, it's great. I'm loving. I'm really enjoying it. I'm interested to see how I go with it over the next couple of weeks, and where the game goes to.
Yeah, of course. I can't wait to see the new, new landscapes to take more photos of. I want jungle photos, desert photos. I'm kind of excited for that as well. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm just interested in seeing all the different types of machines that are out there, really, and some of the bigger ones. Like when I saw those tall necks. Oh man.
Yeah. Right.
The old tallies wandering around, and even when I first sort of like talking about the machines themselves, and back to the graphics, seeing the watches, the little ones for the first time, the first machines you see. Wow, like just the way they were moving, I just sat there just looking at the screen going, wow, that's awesome animation. That looks so friggin' cool.
Man.
And like straight away, I'm like, wow, I just want to see more of these things and see what they're like. And then the other one was the tall necks just wandering around doing its thing. You know, not attacking anyone, just walking around.
Yeah, I like that. I every time I saw them on the like trailers or the pictures, I didn't know what I don't know how much to say about that. That would be spoilery, but I'm satisfied with their role in the game.
Well, you can talk spoilers, really, like, in this, I feel, anyway.
Oh, good. Good. Well, I was just happy that they weren't attacking me.
Yeah.
And they were like, this game's answer to, like, the Ubisoft Lookout Towers.
Exactly. I already knew that before coming to the game, that they were the towers. But it was just cool seeing them in the game for the first time. Just hearing the stomps of their feet.
Yeah.
And the ground sort of shaking. And then you see this head sort of over in the distance just walking along. And then trying to work out how to climb up it was fun.
Yep. True that. And that you couldn't just do it off anywhere. You had to, get up there.
Yeah.
Well, we should move on.
I've got one more thing I just want to go into.
Tell me.
We've talked about how much we like about Horizon.
Of course. We can't live on that note.
We can't just gush over anything.
That's extremely true.
The whole time. What don't you like about Horizon?
The menu system.
Okay. Why?
The menu system can go so far away and do things to itself all day long.
Okay. Wow. Why?
So like the hunting grounds, being like, it's got its own little thing, but then some of it's connected to the main mission as well with this hunting ground mission. So you're not quite sure what's leading to what and what is like a mini game. And then when you go look at the actual map, I think I did say this to you earlier. I would just wish there was a kind of a better color system, because things you haven't discovered yet are white, and then once you've discovered them, they're green. But camps and merchants are always white, even though you have discovered them. And then once you start filling that map up, there's just this, instead of like this, when you're a completionist, you see this like satisfying sort of pile of green, and you can just look at it and go like, cool, I've done all that. I'm just going to move forward and do all this white stuff. But now you have to like kind of get right on in there and try and see like, what is white, what is green. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. And it feels, the map itself feels very, very cluttered because there's so much. I wish there was like you have the legends and you can turn off certain things, like I don't want to see camps, or turn off animals, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, fair enough. Yeah, no, fair call. Anything else, or is that it?
I wish the photo mode wasn't so fucking good. How about that?
Do you wish there was a way you could upload straight to Facebook?
You can.
Oh, fuck it.
You can, via the PS4, like it's the share system. I can upload a whole album. I'm waiting. I'm editing my album and shifting.
Of course you can.
Don't you worry your little self. What about you?
Okay, well, you remind me of something, actually. The Hunter, what was it, like, not trials, it was...
something like that.
For the medals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You go out there, you try it. You're generally not going to get it first go, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to fail. Then you're going to run all the way back.
Yes.
Talk to the guy again. Go back down. You might fuck it up at the start, which I did once or twice.
Yeah.
Got to run all the way back again.
Yes.
Over and over. Like, in a lot of games, starting like that is almost like a fresh instance of itself, and you'll run out there, and you'll do the task, you fail, then it just loads back to where you were at the guy, and then you go out again. And it's just a quick, speedy thing. This was just painful, and you had to go climb back up and around, talk to the guy again, and then go select the thing, and off you go again. And then, even when you beat it, you got to go back and talk to the guy to do the next one, or claim your reward. While in other games, you just get ported sort of back there.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of see why they did it for like the immersion side of things, but then other times it's still a game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't call immersion if you have like fast travel at all.
Yeah.
She can't teleport. So if she can fast travel, then put us back at the start of this thing.
Yep.
Yep, I totally get it. Especially if it's a mini game. It's not really like an adventure part or the story or like you're winning medals. You're essentially playing Mario Kart. You know, just go back to the menu.
Mario Kart with bows, arrows, and logs and tripwires and everything else. And then, the other thing I was going to say is no lock-on targeting system.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that.
I don't, in a way. Like, I find it a little frustrating at times when just stuff jumping around every direction and I don't know, like,
yeah,
it doesn't add much to the difficulty of the game. It adds just a frustration. Like Dark Souls 3 has all the Dark Souls games have a targeting lock-on system. Like,
yeah, but see, there's like the bits of when you go into the notes, and they all have their separate little pieces of the mechanical animals, the robots sort of thing, and all of them have like, the things on their back and things under their belly and things attached to their arm, and each of those things, if you look in the notes, have separate different weaknesses.
Oh yeah, no, that's all awesome. I mean, just a way of just following them with the camera or automatically around the screen. Like, I don't have to lock onto them with my bow as such, but just a way to just track.
Okay.
Even if it just spun the camera around me, just so I can have the camera locked on. Like, okay, you've played Rocket League yet?
No.
You have not played Rocket League?
No, I have not.
Can you get off this podcast now? Well, in Rocket League, there's two options, right? There's normal option, or there's ball cam, where the camera is always positioned on the ball. Now, it doesn't make it so you can automatically hit the ball every time, but you can always watch the ball. I just would have kind of liked that, something like this, that you can just lock onto one thing, follow it around. It would just make, you still got to manually aim for it and everything like that, so you can still pick off the weak points. But just as there's just shit running around everywhere, and a lot of these machines do move around a lot, it's just a bit easier to watch where it all is.
Yeah.
Now, one of the machines that I've come across so far can stealth. Okay, fair enough. Unlock the camera at that stage when it goes invisible. Right, that's cool. If it would do things like that.
Yeah, rather than part of the thing.
Rather than the camera still following it when it stealths. I understand that would make it too easy. But unlock it on that. Just something like that would have just for me made the combat a little bit
gameplay element.
Yeah. Just it could have just made the combat a little bit better for me because I'm still getting a bit used to the game and
What I did discover though, which I just discovered this afternoon, is that your staff has an automatic lock on.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and they don't tell you. But if you just sort of press hit and you're facing wherever, it'll do not as well, but it'll do sort of like a Batman Arkham Asylum type thing where it just kind of turns you to face that person and hit them. You know, that kind of auto lock. So you don't lock onto them, but if they're near you, you just press like either the big or the smaller hit that just takes off their armor. If you're swinging like crazy, I discovered it because I was hitting something, and then there was a thing coming up behind me, another one of the dinosaurs, and when the first one died, I just kept pressing hit facing the same direction, and she just turned around and hit this thing and killed it just before it reached me. I felt really satisfied, and I was like, oh, all right. Now I get it. And then I tested it out a bit, and there's this like light auto aim where you kind of have to be close-ish, and it just kind of works. But nothing like it for the bow, though. But just so you know, that is there for the staff.
Okay, because if you can do a critical hit, you can hit the button and you'll automatically flip onto them and do bonus damage and things like that. But
this is without.
Just in terms of like ranged combat and just a way just to track them with the camera, it just would have made it.
Yep.
But anyway, enough on Horizon for the moment. And before we get to our next open world game, we should talk about the new console that came out.
Oh yes. The Zelda Breath of the Wild playing machine.
Yeah, exactly. The Zelda Breath of the Wild playing machine.
With a few extras coming on.
So you went to the launch. How'd you find it?
Oh, I mean, my launch was not a very big shopping center or anything. Just a small town one. So there was about 13 of us, I think, was the number.
Yep.
It's not a lot. And it was quick. We started getting the game like 11 minutes early because the guy at the front of the line worked there, and went off his watch, which was extremely wrong. So I was in my car heading home at 5 to midnight, which felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, not a lot happened event-wise, not for me. And yourself?
Yeah, I went to one of the bigger launches, not the biggest launch, which there was a lot of people at. I was told to go to one of the smaller ones, which was alright. Probably, 100 people there.
Oh, nice.
Also. Well, at the other one, I was told there could be over 1,000, but whether that actually happened or not, I don't know.
Holy fuck, man.
But yeah, it was all fun. We got all our game and stuff early, but we didn't actually get the console till midnight.
Ah, nice.
But I'd ordered a special edition of Zelda.
Yep, as did I.
And then, I go to the counter, I'm just paying everything off, and, just getting some extras in the bag, like screen protector, etc., etc. Cheeky amiibo, because, well, I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. Pro controller, because I didn't know what the actual Switch controllers would be like, and actually, I kind of regret that decision now, because I actually kind of like the Switch controllers. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a sec. And then, they pop the game in, and they go, here you go. And I said, oh, hang on a second. I ordered the special edition. And they're like, what? And then they checked the thing, and went through everything of my old receipts, etc. Someone had messed up, and, hadn't put one there for me.
Oh, no.
So, I had the option of just taking the copy they gave me and using that until they actually managed to find another copy, special edition for me, because they'd actually sold them all out. But it was at one of the other stores, which was quite a drive away, probably a 35-minute, 40-minute drive away from where we were.
Yep.
So they gave me another copy of the game that I could then return and then pick up my other copy, so I could then play at midnight if I wanted to.
Yep.
And while I wait a few days for them to bring up the other game for me, I could go pick it up. But spoke to my friend about it, and she's like, "Oh, why don't we just drive down tomorrow, get the just drive down ourselves so we can get the actual special edition?" I went, "Yeah, why not?" So I actually didn't even play it that night, because I didn't want to sort of kick off with just this random version. I just wanted my own version from, my special edition box. Just being a bit of a nerd with all those sort of nerd things, but, it's a game I'd been waiting a while for, and I just felt it would have lessened it a little, just opening this little box and just going, yep, there we go. And then getting my big box of the game and then unwrapping that and going, oh yeah, I'm already 2 hours into this game.
Yeah,
rather than the anticipation of opening it and then putting it in for the first time.
Yep. No, I'm glad you did it, because that did feel amazing. That box with all its goodies.
Oh, and I'm glad I did it that way, and waited. It sucked getting home that night, but then I got home that night and I had Horizon to play, so it wasn't that big of a deal in the end. I still had a fantastic game that I sat down and, I played Horizon till, 3 in the morning or whatever it was that night.
Yeah.
A couple of hours.
Which is not the worst thing you could have been doing.
No, and then, I was up early next morning and then off to go get Zelda, and I didn't actually end up getting to play Zelda until later that night, because I had other things I had to do and work and all that, so, But, I waited and it was good. But, the actual Switch itself, though, let's talk about that.
Yes.
Yes. So, the Switch box, you kept going on about how small the Switch box was.
Yeah, I did. I got it from, when I went to the launch, and I saw my big, giant collectible Zelda Breath of the Wild box in there, and I was like, oh, where's my other bag with the Switch in it? She's like, no, it's in there. Are you serious? You mean this mouse pad box? So yeah, wow. That's it. Oh, that's it? It's an iPhone? Cool. It's just, I like that though, because I have so many giant console boxes in my cupboard. Yeah. It was tiny and it was packed nice.
It's tiny, yeah.
It's heavy though, which I like. Nice solid feeling box.
Yep. Yeah, well, it was funny. I picked up my console that night and, at midnight. And as I'm heading out of the center I was at, I'm going up the escalator. A guy in front of me has already unpacked his Switch, taken it out of the box, turned it on, and put Zelda in.
Huh.
as we're going up the escalator. So here's Zelda booting up on this guy's Switch in front of me. I'm like, are you serious? Like,
that's how you want to do it?
That's how you want to do it. You just walk out of the store, you take it out of... But I thought it was amazing, at the same time, how it was literally take it out of the box and off you go. None of this like with our normal consoles, you know, like PS4s, Xbox Ones, you got to take it home, you got to turn it on, you got to then wait 4 hours for an update to install. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this guy's going up the escalator out of the shopping center and he's already loading up the first scene in Zelda.
Huh.
Like,
man, that is cool.
That is really, really cool. I thought, yeah, okay, when you were going on about how small the box was, when I looked at the box, I'm like, yeah, it's small. But what I couldn't get over at first is actually how big the Switch itself is.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen one in person before.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Until Escalator Guy.
Of course.
And I looked at it, and with the Joy-Cons on the side of it in handheld mode, on the side of the screen, it's actually quite a big unit. And it's really hard to tell on a video when you see someone just using a piece of hardware, you know, how big it is or, you know,
yeah, because how big are their hands and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And just the way that the camera may be positioned or, you know, you can't get a really good look at it. Okay, sure, yeah, they're sitting down next to objects and that, but even then, still, until you've got that same device in your hand or looking at that exact device, it's a little, hard to put it all together. So yeah, I thought the screen was actually a lot bigger than I thought it was actually going to be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm expecting something DS size.
Okay. I didn't know what I expected, but I was very pleased, actually. Did you want it smaller or bigger?
No, I think that's fine. I like it. I'm loving it in handheld mode. I play it a lot, like sort of just before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And sort of thing, you know. It's great. But yeah, like, and then the Joy-Cons as well. I was a bit worried that, you know, like, they might be a bit small for my hands kind of thing.
Yeah, they look tiny.
They look tiny, and everyone's saying, oh, how tiny they were and all this sort of stuff. You know, I bought the Pro controller because I thought for a game like Zelda where you are going to be playing for a long period of time, you want your hands to be really comfortable, you know, and all that.
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, I started playing it on the, with the Joy-Cons, you know, when I first started playing. And after... you know, first minute or so was a bit strange, but then once I got sort of used to it, it felt fine. I'm really used to it now. I actually still haven't used my Pro controller. I've got it there. I want to sit down and use it, and I probably will use it more.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, the Joy-Cons work fine. Like, I just don't want to overuse them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I've also got the Pro controller, so it can split it up. Like, mostly just use the Joy-Con when I am in handheld mode.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that would be so much cooler. I don't have it. Like, I didn't get the Pro one, but I'm thinking I might, because it'd be so nice to just leave the Joy-Con charging all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Because when you finally want to do handheld mode, like it's time to go to bed, it sucks the battery out of your actual Switch.
Oh, to keep them charged.
Yeah, because well, you know, you've been using them wireless for, like, you know, let's say 3 or 4 hours, and then you're like, all right, time for bed. You pull the Switch out. But it does say that it only uses 50% of it. So once it's used 50% of your Switch's battery, it stops sucking it out of it and leaves it all to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, it's cool and stuff, but it is a bit confusing and an extra thing to worry about. So I think having the Pro controller, you can just leave it in there and not worry.
Yeah.
And when you pull it out, everything's charged evenly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and just because it's just another feel to the control, and I just worry about the joysticks wearing down because they're quite small joysticks, and, you know, after you use an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller for, like, you know, for an extended period of time, like, let's say over a year or whatever.
Yeah.
You can definitely feel the difference between a used and a new controller, like, and because there's a lot sort of, I don't know, I guess less height on the Switch Joy-Cons, they'd wear down a lot quicker. So this will sort of save on a bit of that sort of wear and tear by just using the Pro controller when I'm sort of doing it on full screen TV mode.
Yeah, all right, I see. Good call.
So how have you found it switching between the TV and handheld? Like, are you liking one over the other, or what?
I think I like it handheld better.
Okay.
I don't know, it feels sharper and cleaner.
Yes, yeah, and it feels like, for Zelda especially, that's the only game I've played on it, but, like, there's no, like, frame dropping like in on full screen mode. Like you get a lot of that sort of going from like the 30 frames, it slows down to like the 20 frames a second, things like that.
Yeah.
A lot. Oh, not a lot,
Yeah, you
but
do
I mean,
get a
like
bit of that.
in like when things are getting really busy, or there's a lot of explosions, or because there's a lot of physics going on in the game, and it's using a lot of the Switch's sort of power to sort of keep that going.
Yeah, of course.
Then the more you got going on, the more While in handheld mode, it just probably because it's the smaller resolution than the TV screen.
Yeah,
It just it just runs better.
true. And you don't notice the smaller resolution because the screen's so small and clean.
Exactly. But another thing that got me, when we're talking about the size again, was the size of the games. Like, just the tiny little, smaller than an SD card, little card for the game. Like, I was like, is that it? Like, wow.
Yeah, right? I went, no, this must be the memory unit or something.
It's the memory. Where's my game gone? But no, it's this tiny little thing. It was so small. Like, I opened a box of Zelda. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, and there's a tiny thing at the bottom.
Yeah. Little booklet, tiny thing at the bottom. Like, yeah. It's funny because the Zelda Collector's Edition comes in a massive box, which is bigger than the Switch box itself, you know? And then you get this tiny little cartridge from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that poster in it, though, was quite nice. I really liked it.
Oh,
just in the normal game. It felt really good.
Yeah, it looked cool as well. Like, it's nice. Like, I like the map that came in the Collector's Edition. That was cool.
Oh, that was gorgeous. I did show you. I actually went and got myself a piece of raw leather to tie it in.
That's great.
Just because I couldn't choose which side to post up if I wanted to hang it on the wall, so I just kept it rolled up.
And then, like, the statue of the Master Sword that comes with it too. That was cool as well.
Beautiful.
Like,
yeah,
people thought it looked a little flimsy on the videos or whatever. I thought it was actually quite solid.
Yeah, it was. So, I remember hearing about this flimsiness.
Yeah,
business.
Looking at the sword, it is a little, like, the actual sword in the stone is a little sort of flimsy, but just the whole weight of it, I don't know. I think it's fine. It's a display item. You're not supposed to be picking it up and throwing it around the room.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not touching it,
like, mine's just sitting on the table just behind the Switch. You know, it just sits there. It looks great.
Yep,
I'm happy with it.
Awesome.
But anyway, Zelda.
Oh wait, before we move on.
Oh,
very importantly, did you taste your cartridge?
I saw that article on Kotaku. I did not taste the cartridge at all.
Oh man,
yeah.
I heard it from another podcast I was listening to somewhere, and I was like, no, you guys are crazy. So, and I hadn't seen any other articles about it or anything, and they were laughing and saying they each tried a different cartridge and it stayed in your mouth for hours. So I just went and had a sneaky lick. You need to do it.
I'm not going to go lick my Zelda cartridge.
Yours is inside. You have to when you buy a new game. At least try it. Just give it a taste.
Maybe Mario Kart. When I pick up Mario Kart, I'll go have a taste of rainbow moment with it. I don't know.
It's awful. It is just...
Yeah, see, you know, I don't really pick up CDs and lick CDs, so I don't think I'm going to pick up a cartridge and lick a cartridge.
Well, I think it was a cool idea when it's for the kids, young audiences.
Yeah.
It's very small and it's, deter them. And I thought, well, how much is this going to deter it? And yeah, I think it just might work. Yeah,
you're right. Like that's one, because I was thinking about that today actually, about the Switch. Like, small children. Okay, the Joy-Cons are too big to swallow. There didn't feel like to be any loose pieces that you could swallow or whatever like that. But yeah, the game cartridge. Yep. The game cartridge is the one I didn't think of because I've never really seen the game cartridge because it's inside my Switch.
Yeah, exactly. But it is tiny, isn't it? But yeah, so I guess that's a good enough reason to do that. But man, that is a weird decision. It's so funny seeing it in reviews. Like, we have really reached the future of gaming where the flavor of a game is part of the review of a console.
Yeah, could you imagine it if we still had gone down like the original cartridge route, and then we had gotten to today? Oh yeah, the dust is really easy to just blow out of this. Like, you've got no issues with dust in this cartridge. Like, Wow.
It's got the extra dust sliding technology. Just slides right out there.
But like one thing I did enjoy, which has been really sort of getting on my nerves, is when you buy a game now, you put the game in and you got to install it. Now I get day one patches and all that because stuff gets fixed up after a game's gone gold and all that. You know, that's
yes, of course.
That's all normal, but just the install times. Like the install time on Horizon was like 15, 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's like jet speed compared to what we're normally waiting for on our Xbox One stuff.
But yeah, like this was exactly. Like it's just you get home, you want to play, but no. Nowadays it's like you put it in, you go make a coffee, you might read some articles online, you look over, still at 35%. You go do something else. We don't even have an instruction booklet to flick through. Like,
yeah, no cool characters to look at.
No,
and we're not only that, but like, you know, like we're talking about you buy it on the launch day and you want to come home and play it. But even on normal, if you just go out and buy, if you went out to buy Horizon today, it's been out already. There's no exciting launch, but we're grown ass men, so you know, like we time our days specifically around work and jobs, and we only have, you know, an hour or two on some days, and we're like, you know what? I've got 3 hours today. I'm going to go buy this game, come home and play it. And then you use all that time to just install it and wait for the update. And then you have to go to work or go to bed or whatever.
Yep, exactly. I even like when I bought Fallout 4, right? I got home and then I bought it on PC. I bought it from the shop. I didn't realize I'd have to download the whole game. There was only like a gig or two on the discs. The rest I had to download.
Oh, no way,
the rest
really?
Yep. So I got home, had a coffee, while I put the disc in and didn't realize this. I should have. And then finished my coffee. And I'm sitting there. And then it's like, download the next 35 gigs or whatever it was. And I'm like, oh no. So I was awake till 5 o'clock in the morning. And the thing's obviously still downloading. And so I didn't even get into the...
I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, that kind of sucked too. And then my friend sending me photos of his like Danny Glover character he made and all that in it, and it's getting a bit jealous. But anyway, it was all good because I got it the next day and had a heap of fun with it anyway. But yeah, the whole install download thing, like what was nice about the Switch, you get that game in, bang, you're off. Okay, there was a small day one patch for Zelda, as there is, but there was no install. You know.
Yeah.
Once that patch is bang, you're off, and that's where we're up to now, Zelda.
Oh man, cartridges, I miss them.
Yeah.
And it's good to have them back. Zelda.
Yes.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. It was weird. It was weird leading up to it because I went through hype. I went through no hype. I went through, is this going to be any good? I got back on the hype train again. I got off the train again and then back on. I felt like I kept getting on and off. I couldn't decide how I felt about this game.
Wow.
And then the day before, the review started coming out.
Oh god, those reviews.
And at first I was like, gee, is this thing going to come out? Is it going to get like 6s across the board, 5s across the board? Have I just thrown all this money away on this game? And is it just going to be terrible? And then the reviews came out, and I haven't read any in full. I've only seen small quotes here and there because I stayed quite well clear of everything like that for this launch. But I saw a few quotes linked. And yeah, wow, you know, just what they were saying about how just amazing it was, like, it got me back on the hype train again. I got excited again.
Oh, when, you know, a friend of mine sent me that thing about saying it was probably one of the top 5 most highest rated games in history. I was like, what? Yeah. You know, up there with Ocarina of Time and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Yeah. Like, legends.
I'm like, what is this? What is going on? Like, how's this happened? Like, it sounds weird to say that because, you know, it's a Zelda game and we should be expecting that. But because Nintendo went and changed the formula that much, and I think everyone was really hesitant. It's like, you know, here's a pool. We've changed the old one, but we're not going to tell you how deep it is. But just jump on in. And everyone was at the shore, like, I don't know how to feel about this.
Yep.
But now everyone's like, just like jump in, get on board, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine, everyone, you know, it's fine. You know, it's a bit different, but it's great. Like,
it's safe.
Yeah. Like,
jump on in.
Like, exactly. Jump on in, it's safe. Everyone's sort of coming along. Like, man, like, when I first started playing it, right, it starts really quick. Like, you wake up and bang, you're up. That's it. You're out in the world. Like, I don't think since the original Legend of Zelda that they've just thrown you out there like that.
Yeah, with that sense of wonder straight away.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to talk about. That feeling of wonder and discovery. Like, I felt it on the original Legend of Zelda. I felt it on Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt it again on Breath of the Wild. Like, I just everywhere I go, I just feel like this new discovery. I'm still finding out things. I'm learning things. I'm like, can I do this? Can I do this? Oh, can I do this? How do I do this? Like,
yep. Is that possible? Oh God, yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. It is. Like, when I realized you can climb any surface,
yeah,
I was like, are you serious? Like, coming from like a Horizon where you can climb some things, but you can't climb other things. Like, how do I get up there? This is like, I want to get over there. I'll just climb right up this mountain.
Yep.
No fucks were given that day, pretty much. Straight up the mountain.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I'm going about it. Like, it's just like, you know, you chop down a random tree. Like, and then another time holding a torch, and then the wind picked up and set me on fire.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Brilliant.
Like, and then
So
like,
awesome.
I was still playing in the first little area, right? And I'm going along, just playing around with the stuff, going, okay, this is all right, you know, this is fun. And I'm like, can it be a whole game of this? Yeah, it's fun. It's a bit different. I'm like, okay. Then I do the first little shrine or little mini dungeon.
Yeah.
And then you get an ability in there, a magnetic ability.
Yes.
And I just went, oh my God. And then when I got outside and I was lifting chests out of the water using this magnet power and shit, because I'd seen the chests in the water before I went in, and I'm like, oh, you must have to get the iron boots or something to get down there to open the chest.
Yeah, right.
And then I've come out with the magnetic power. I'm just like freaking Magneto, like just moving shit around everywhere. Like, it was
anything you want.
Yep.
Anything metal, and you're like, wow, this is easy mode. How's this a thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, really, Nintendo?
But they still challenge you.
They still challenge you, exactly. And then I'm building bridges to get across to other chests that you can't move with magnetism, but you're building bridges
the
using
wooden ones.
Yeah, exactly. Using metal doors as like bridges to get across things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I had that moment where, I don't know, we were heading into the ice place, and there's that bridge that's kind of incomplete. Mm-hmm. You know, and you can almost make it by jumping on the rocks, and then you can jump onto the start of the the bridge that is not broken. Just about make it. And I must have jumped onto those two pieces of dirt or rocks like 5 or 6 times and just died. And I was like, dude, what is going on? I'm so angry. I just can't quite get this. And then on my way back of like walking towards it, I noticed finally this piece of metal debris leaning on the edge, and I was like, oh my God, that's right, my magnet. And I just picked it up and placed it there, filling the gap, and went, oh my God, this is amazing.
So good, but so simple at the same time.
Yep. I love, even with the, it's the same concept with the being able to climb anything. They give you this godlike power of feeling like you can conquer the entire game easily, but then they put a strategy in there, like the stamina, which makes it, then you go like, oh, all right, I get it. I can have anything I want, but I just can't abuse it. Yeah. Everything's a strategy, and I got to eat right, and it's like real life.
Yeah, it's just interesting playing through the start of the game, because I think I've put over 20 hours into it so far, so I've put a bit more time than Horizon in so far.
Oh wow,
and
nice.
I'm finding myself just wandering around, just legit wandering around. I'm like, oh, what's that over there? And I'll just start walking. And then I'll discover something, or I'll find a little secret, or or I might find another little mini dungeon, because at the moment it just seems there are just these little mini dungeons everywhere. I haven't come across your normal style temple yet, and I'm really hoping there is. Even it doesn't have to be as many as in Ocarina or any of the others. Just give us 5 or 6 temples, and I'll be happy. Yep. Like the little mini dungeons are cool.
I know exactly what you mean.
Mini dungeons are cool. That's great, but I still want that complete dungeon inside a tree or inside a volcano, or and a boss at the end. You know,
that personality of the like levels.
Yeah,
old school.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get the whole open world thing. You can go anywhere and do whatever. Yep, but you know, being able to do temples in any order, because would be kind of cool. But yeah, like I've just found myself just wandering off and just not really progressing story-wise in the game, but just doing things and just sort of cruising along and having fun for it. And I've spent a lot of time doing it, and it's like I haven't explored a lot of the map. Like the map is segmented into sort of different areas that you unlock through towers. Like viewing the areas. Like you can wander anywhere, but you can get on these towers to unlock the view of that area on your map. So I've only unlocked, like, including the start area, like 3 areas now.
Yeah.
But I've spent 20 hours wandering around those 3 areas.
Yeah, and there's heaps more. Hey, like I've done that. I kind of got just distracted with the goal. I haven't reached the first village or anything. And all I was doing was just going to these towers, because I thought, right, I'll run towards that just to clear up the map a bit. But just doing that, they are so much further away than you think they are.
There's a great sense of, I think, scale in the game and grandness in the way it's done. It's not like Horizon, which is still a big world as well. I'm not sure which is bigger. I think Horizon still may be bigger at the end of the day.
Yeah, hard to tell.
People will figure it out online. They do.
They'll do that.
There's a measurement they actually work out video game maps from, and they go from there, which is actually really kind of clever. But Horizon feels more full of stuff. Like everywhere you go, there's something going on. Zelda, you might walk for a couple of minutes. There's not much going on, but it adds. It's kind of strange. Like I felt it would feel too barren, but it kind of doesn't, because you'd be cruising along maybe a mountaintop. Well, why would there be stuff up there? Sometimes there's like a random goat just chilling on the mountain, and you're like, okay, hey goat. But then you go down into the forest, and then the forest is like got goblins and seeds to collect, or what, there's stuff all down through there, and like every area you go to feels a little different, even though it's the same at the same time. It's still a forest compared to that other forest you've just been to, but there's other things in this forest. It just feels like there's a little different regions, and I don't know. I think I think
I know what you mean. Like it's unintentionally kind of created this extra piece of scale, because you feel smaller and like maybe like not as involved. Like the world just seems so big, and I guess it could look empty, but it looks vast. But like things look far away.
Go things feel vast, far away, and it's like, I was doing a thing earlier, and I saw one of those mini dungeons around the coast, right? So the only way I could go was around the coast to get there, because stamina-wise, I couldn't swim across. So I started trekking around. Yeah. Well, I reckon that journey, just because I was messing around along the way, and there was this other thing, which I'm not going to go into, because I know you don't want any spoilers about any of this. But
no,
that whole journey maybe took me about 30 minutes, and then I did the mini dungeon, and then I went out to another mini dungeon, which I then couldn't do the second mini dungeon that I found, and then I headed back, because then I got something that I could do this other thing with, and then it was like this whole little region, this little coastal region that I was going through. Probably I spent about an hour all up going back and forth along there, just doing these little tasks, just because I saw one little mini dungeon out in the horizon and went, all right, I'm going to head out to there now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which was great fun, like I died a few times along the way and things like that, but it happens, it's like, it fell off a couple of cliffs, or, whatever, I had to climb back up and all those sorts of things. But then, I was fighting things and finding things here and there and discovering new things and doing the little mini dungeons. And yeah, it was good fun. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, also, and that's I like that that's a good day of gaming, if that was your session, if that's all you did. And it's like you didn't achieve much, but you had a freaking unreal time doing it.
Exactly, and it's bringing back to that sort of sense of discovery. I remember going back, I remember playing Ocarina of Time many years ago with a friend, and I remember playing that game and going up like Death Mountain back then, and we're trying to jump off the side onto a certain bit to get something. I think the bomb flowers then to blow up the door or something, to get into the Goron's place. I'm pretty sure that was the spot. We're doing something like that. I remember us missing a heap of times. Can we do this? Can we do this? We eventually got it. We eventually got the bomb flower down, and up went the door, sort of thing. Like that whole discovery thing of, oh my gosh, we just got through the door, by doing this. I kind of felt that today, because a little spoiler for you here, but I just want to conclude the story, is that when I got to the end of this coastal thing, I looked out into the ocean, and there's one of these little mini dungeons in the middle of the friggin' ocean. And I could see it from the town I was at before I went around the coast, and I went, I reckon you can glide out to that. So I ran up and jumped on my little glider, missed it the first time because I ran out of stamina. I went, right, I can get my jump better. Went, and then stuffed it up again. Like, I ran out of stamina over the island, but crashed and died. I went, right, I can make this. I went, boom, and landed on that little island. And it just felt like that same sort of thing of like, can I do this? Oh, yes, I can do this. Sort of thing. Like, I felt...
they're more like challenges instead of like... Normally you can just look at it and go, that's possible, or that's not possible, that's not part of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but this felt like, all right, this is the way I think to get out there. And then when I got out there, there was also then a raft out on the island too. I'm like, I could have gone by a raft if I'd have found a raft. Yeah. But it's just that little bit of discovery and adventure. And I think that's what's making Zelda so great for me at the moment, is that it is the discovery, the adventure. It's not as pretty as Horizon is, but it's got its own style.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go into any kind of Nintendo game expecting that kind of Horizon beauty, then you obviously haven't been gaming very long, because you know that they're not doing that anymore, and they haven't been for 10 years.
Maybe longer, yeah.
Yeah, they've never really tried, not since the Super Nintendo, maybe even 64, not since then have they actually tried to be the visual beauty. They're more like stylistic beauty, like impressionism.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Wind Waker was first announced, and everyone lost their shit because they're like, what is this? What is this cartoony graphics? What are you doing? Well,
stunning.
I still think it's one of the most prettiest Zelda games because of just the way it looks, just the style they went with, and just the emotion you got from the characters. Like the way they were able to show emotion and feelings through the characters. Just through this cool cartoon.
Playing a Disney game.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was so good.
Yeah. I love that one. It's so true.
So, what are you enjoying about Zelda? Like, what are you enjoying the most?
Well, I'm enjoying all that kind of stuff. You were just saying that the discovery, that open worldness. That I think the word I'm looking for is that curiosity, because of the thing. Like, the way the physics works in this and how the game world works is that everything is not super clear. It's not like, oh, that's a thing I learned, I can do that, or I can't do that. Everything's like, can I? Maybe I can. If I put this and this together, these two things I've learned, I was like, can I use this leaf to blow this thing, to knock that, barrel down, to roll it down into those bad guys, and hit one of those bombs and explode things, and then you try it and it doesn't quite work, and it's like, in many games that means no, I'm wrong, but in this one you're like, should I spend 3 hours trying to get that perfect thing, or is this actually not a thing? And I love that gamble of time and reward, that's not strictly part of the mission. It's like you're making your own personal goals, and you eventually never do it, and you're like, well, that was a big waste. Or you like you said, you've finally pull it off and go yes, I knew this was possible. I'm so early in. I haven't even reached Cocorico Village, so I barely have anything to compare it to. But so far that's been my experience. Just those, like you said, just the pulling the chest out of the water, like that is the new pull for me in this Zelda compared to the others. Like
that moment was when I went, yes, right there. Okay, it was cool climbing trees and getting fruit and chopping down trees and all that, but it was the moment when I pulled the friggin' chest out of the water and just went, that's it, right there.
Well, just you saying that you tried 3 times, to float down to this thing, and then you finally got there and there was a raft there. That's so awesome, because it's like, that maybe wasn't the way to do it. But
I couldn't see any other rafts around because there's another island that I couldn't figure out how to get to because it was a bit too far out. And when I landed and saw this raft, I went, But I still didn't get to go out to that other island yet because I still wanted to work my way back to where I was doing other things.
Yes.
So it's one in the bank of, all right, I've got to go back out there.
Yep. Oh.
But so...
I'm not quite in it, like, long enough. I've just been too... I'm going to be honest, I've been taking too many pictures in Horizon.
Yeah, you have.
Sorry.
What keeps drawing you back to Horizon over Zelda?
I guess I started it first. It's probably just that. And there's something like Aloy is just new and I've just met her and I want to know more about her. Like and with Zelda, it's like the game, I love it. And it's kind of like, I think it's less to do with Zelda and more to do with the hardware itself, the Switch and my lifestyle. I travel a lot and I do a lot of touring in weekends. And so I think I'm trying to cherish this game that has been said that could be one of the highest rated games in history. And I've never really been a portables guy. And I was just telling another friend of mine this today, saying that like I never got onto the portables thing because I have this weird sense that whenever I was playing a portable device, a Game Boy or a DS or a Vita or a PSP or whatever, I always felt like I was playing the smaller, cheaper, littler experience than the real game. And then when I got home, I could play the real version or these big actual games. And what I was playing was kind of like a in-between thing. So I felt like I wasn't furthering my gaming adventures. And then when I got home, I had no incentive to keep playing those portable games because I'm like, finally, I can play my actual Xbox. So I can, I've been on tour for 4 days. Now I'm back. I can finally play my real PlayStation. But with this, it's bridged that gap for me. So now I've fallen in love with the idea of portable gaming because I don't feel that sense of missing out because I'm playing the whole console everywhere I go, on the train, in my hotel rooms, in the plane, back home, sit down, plug it straight in. It's kind of what I've always wanted. So I'm playing giant open world Zelda everywhere. So I think that's what I'm kind of like savoring it for when I go on tour now, because now I love playing this. I did it once already. Luckily, as soon as it came out, I had a trip to go to that was 3 days away from home, and I was like, brilliant. I just got this new Switch. I'm going to take it with me and see how it goes. Everything I hoped it would be.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was a long fuck around answer of what keeps bringing me back to Horizon. But yeah, that's it.
So, you haven't played overly a lot of Zelda. What you would say, about 5-6 hours, maybe? A bit more?
Yeah. I about that.
Is it
5 or 6 hours? Yeah.
Is there, okay, we've been talking about how great it is. Is there anything maybe not so great that you sort of want to bring up?
See, I don't know if it's later on, and I'll find out this could be helped, but I'm not 100% into not owning my own weapons. I felt a real sense of ownership in the older Zeldas where you fight and you finally get that mirror shield or you finally get that special sword from the Gorons.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mine. And I owned that. That was my version of Link's prized new sword or shield. And then I'd get another shield, and that would be my new favorite thing that I fought for. And I killed a boss, and it becomes mine, and I use it, and I learn how to maneuver it. In this, I feel I can't connect to any of the weapons because they keep breaking.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel you will get the Master Sword because you cannot not get the Master Sword.
Yeah, that's true, but it wasn't always. There was just that each next shield you got or each next sword you got was yours.
Yeah.
For until you got the next thing, and you got to sort of
mind you
own it.
We're talking about Ocarina of Time here. there was like 3 swords in that whole game though. You had the Kokiri sword, the big Goron sword, and the Master Sword.
Yeah, that's true, and it is so awesome having like these. Just I don't even know how many swords and shields and things they have in this. There are so. I'm getting a real. This is a weird thing to compare it to, but I'm getting a really weird Uncharted feeling when it comes to weaponry.
Okay.
You know, you kind of just those games. You know, Nathan Drake never owned anything. He just picked up and learned how to use everyone else's weapons, and you kind of do that everywhere. And it's just a very different style of game. That once you get used to it, you like really groove into it and understand the concept. But I think I'm still getting my head around that.
I am getting a little annoyed at the breakage of the weapons. Like, you do find a nice little broadsword, right? So rather than using a fucking broom, which I was using at one stage, that's right, I was cruising around with a broom. You get this little broadsword, you're like, sweet, right? So you're running around this broadsword and you chop through a whole heap of goblins or whatever. And then it breaks, and you're like, oh, great, I'm back to the broom again. So then you're running around with your broom again. Like, that's been a little frustrating for me. And another thing, coming from Horizon, where you can craft anything on the run, to Zelda, and I'm running out of arrows left, right, and center. I'm like, come on, why can't I have a way to craft arrows on the run or something? I have wood.
Especially if you can cut down a tree.
Yeah, I have wood, I have flint. I have what I need to make an arrow right here.
Yep. A real life one.
Like, let me use the flint and the wood. Like, maybe you get a way to build. I don't know, but I haven't seen anything yet that's going to allow you to make your own stuff on the run. And it's a real shame because I'm getting sick of going to town and buying like 30 arrows and then going through them in like 5 minutes because I'm shooting at every animal I see.
Yeah, because I think I'm like you. I think our problem is we're playing both those games back to back, so you use the same habits in each game, and you start playing Zelda and you're like, oh yeah, okay, a duck, I'll use 3 arrows to try and shoot that, and then it flies away and you're like, oh wait, I just spent half my savings on 5 of these arrows.
Exactly. Like, and another thing is that I'm finding a lot of materials in the game, and this is back to the discovery, but then at the same time I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with them. Like, I've got all these opals, I'm like, am I supposed to be selling the opals because they're worth quite a bit, or am I supposed to be saving them? Like, they're going to upgrade weapons down the track. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing with these opals right now. Like, some things have little clues on them, other things don't, and I'm just all sorts of confused at the moment. At least in Horizon, it says merchant item or craftable item. So you could look at it and go, oh yeah, I need opals for crafting or something down the track. Okay, cool. I'm going to hang on to these opals now rather than selling them at the store. Or if I sold them all and then 3 hours later, hey, you can now put opals on your weapons to do this, and then I got no opals, and I'm just like, what?
I mean, to be fair, that thing they say in Zero Dawn Horizon, where they say like this is used for merchants or trading, that's so handy. But that I feel like, as far as like RPG adventure games goes, that's a blessing. You know, like that's sort of like a almost hand holding, but like that's a really cool, interesting thing to have. And Zelda is so confusing, but that's just classic RPG. You know, like it sucks, but that's, you know, it's part of those weird things you either like it, you know, you learn to live with, or they are so, or like in Skyrim where you pick up every fork and knife and plate and spoon, and then you realize you can't carry anything else, and you don't want to part with anything. Just maybe you need 10 spoons. You know?
Exactly. Like, I just don't know what to do with all this stuff. So I've sold a couple of like opals and things like that. Still got a lot, but yeah, I'm waiting until I progress a bit more into the game, and then I think I'll come to the decision whether I'm going to keep or start just selling a lot of stuff. And another thing is that, okay, cooking's in the game. Now, cooking's cool. I like finding all these ingredients. I like cooking things. Give me a recipe book. Let me see every creation I've made so I can make the same things again. That's what I really liked about Final Fantasy 15 in the way you'd craft spells together. Once you crafted something, you could then recraft the same spells if you had the same materials. Yes. It was really handy, and you could see all the different things you could make in a big list. It was great. Okay, maybe have them as like hidden sort of items as question marks, and when you discover them, then they're unlocked, but then they show you what could go into them. Because at the moment, I might not cook for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll go, oh shit, I'm going to cook again. How did I make that again? What am I throwing in?
Yeah.
And then you'll start throwing things in, and then you'll have a botched dish because you would have thrown in maybe one of the wrong items, and you've just wasted materials on nothing. That's a little sort of annoying. I just wish there was a way to sort of just keep a log of all that sort of stuff. It would have been really nice. Also, another thing, I feel comes as the Switch as a whole. I'm sad there are no achievements or trophies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet.
Like, I feel Zelda would have just owed itself so much to it. Like, you could have just seen it, make 100 different types of food, pick up this many different weapons, etc.
Any open world.
Straight away.
Or glide this many meters.
Glide this many meters, climb the tallest peak and jump off it, or all this sort of cool stuff they could have thrown in there, just little extra things for people to do, and get all the little
even a little statistics type thing.
Yeah,
they have one, but one that was more goal driven, or you get a little star or something.
Yeah. Wait, there's a statistics thing?
Yeah.
Where?
At least I think there was.
Really?
Maybe I'm looking at maybe I'm mixing my games up again.
Because I know there is an Horizon.
There is one. Yeah, me too. Oh God. All right, that's Game Tray, and full of facts and honesty right here.
I think we should wrap it up there, because we're starting to get our wires crossed a bit now over the 2 games.
Let's go away. Yeah. Research. Come back with facts.
Come back with actual facts about the games that we're putting our time into. So we run this fortnightly now. This was our first episode. Thank you to everyone that has listened.
Thank you to all 6 of you.
All 6 of you, maybe 7 after this now. Any suggestions, let us know. Whatever it may be. Get better at the games you're playing. Fair enough.
Know what they do.
actually finish the game. No.
Well.
But we're running this fortnightly. Over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be playing more of Horizon and Zelda, as will Carl, most probably.
Yes, likewise.
And we're also going to do a bit of co-op through Wildlands as well, which is coming out in 2 days' time. Is it?
Yeah.
One or 2 days? It's out this week anyway, so we're going to jump in there. We're going to do some co-op on Xbox through that.
I think it came out today.
Oh, right. Well, later this week, we're probably going to pick it up, and here we go, not knowing anything.
That's it. That's it.
And smash out some co-op and that, and we'll have more Zelda, Horizon, and Wildlands discussion next week.
So, and of course some more on getting used to the Switch, and I'd like to hear more about your views on the Pro controller.
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, I'll give that a crack, and
protect that screen.
Oh, yeah, I know. The screen. Yeah, everyone is listening to this. Put a screen protector on your Switch. The dock can scratch the screen.
Yes.
Which is a real shame to hear of that, because
it is a shame. But some people are putting little pieces of cloth on there just to protect the front part of the screen as you slide it in.
Yes. But on that note, I think we'll leave it there this week.
Nice one. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kellen.
Thank you, Carl. All right.